Deutschland, Deutschland, überall.
I had on this morning. I just should be recording these calls just for the fucking crack, or at least making notes.
Thanks, Count Corla. I'm sure, Minister, that you do appreciate how sickened people are. By what you call the vampire tapes. But I wonder, could you also appreciate that really the questions people have is not about who said what to who, about whether politicians were just incompetent or incompetent and corrupt. The real question that people have is, what are you going to do about it? And to be honest with you, slagging off Fianna Fáil and waffling on as the Taoiseach did here for the last 2 days really isn't going to cut it.
What he's suggesting is that UK banks are setting us up by pointing money in our direction and then saying, there you go, that's something that was ours and they've got.
So fucking what? Just take it anyway.
Yeah.
Stick the fingers up.
You might be interested to know that there are 26 members of the Czech Republic Parliament in custody at the moment for crimes of a less serious character than what went on in Ireland 5 years ago.
Top of them this morning about Northern Rock.
Yeah.
And said, look, they went around with the fucking Union Jack wrapped tightly around them like a jumpsuit and grabbed all the deposits. And where was our fucking Minister for Finance then? I know, I'm getting it from all sides here.
5 years ago, the banking crime of the century, the theft of billions from men, women and children in this country, and nothing has been done. And the Taoiseach told us yesterday, takes time. We're preparing a book of evidence. The exact same line that was given 2 years after the crisis. It's utter nonsense. What other crime would be treated in this way? Where is the fraud squad? Where is the Criminal Assets Bureau? This is what they were set up for. Any other crime scene would have been surrounded and the evidence taken. It was 6 months before they made a visit to Anglo. 2 years before they even got the passwords.
So I'm playing a little bit of the game of, oh Jesus, look, we don't want you to be under pressure. We're going to do the best we can. We won't do it in blatant, but we have to get the money in.
The reason why it's different is that there's a different attitude to crimes committed by people in suits. They're not considered to be real crimes. Also, of course, the fear that if they had gone in, it might have revealed a connection to the political establishment.
That's what I really meant. Get the fucking money in. Get it in.
Now we have a scenario where we're expected to believe that a newspaper whose owner this time last year took Sean Fitzpatrick to the European Championships and then quashed those photographs from being printed are now at the forefront of investigative journalism. We're expected to believe that the Garda Commissioner, who we know has a legal responsibility under the Garda Síochána Act to inform the Minister of serious matters of public interest, didn't inform the Minister about these very serious tapes, and yet they ended up in the hands of one of the Guards' favourite sources of information. The greatest challenge is we are expected to believe there's something unusual here. There's nothing unusual here, Minister. The only thing unusual is the scale of the arrogance, the scale of the delays and the scale of the interaction.
Therapeutic. I was just ringing you.
Yeah, no, I'm ambidextrous as well. It means I can walk and land on water.
You can drink beer out of both hands.
What I want to ask you, Minister, are two questions. These are crimes. Why are the people who committed them not in jail? And if you, who are in power, say that our laws are inadequate, what are you doing about them?
Fun and games, yeah. We're down to the regulator. I tell you, we went down to the regulator yesterday. Yeah. And I mean, to cut it long story short, we sort of said, look, what we need is €7 billion.
And it says 7 billion of terms.
This is 7 billion bridging.
Yeah.
So it's bridged off we can pay you back, which is never.
Yeah. And that's in the promo. That's in the terms and conditions.
That's right.
It's going to give you a personal hand.
So under the terms that say repayment, we said no.
Yeah. No, not applicable. Okay. And what's he say?
So anyway,
change of underwear.
Heard a lot from the Labour Party how you haven't voted for the bank guarantee. You voted for every other cut to pay for it. There is 25 billion in bonds in the
Deputy, would you please resume the
on behalf of the government to cover the promissory notes. What I'm asking you, Minister, is that we know that once issued, this becomes sovereign debt. Given the fact that it has been revealed that this decision was made on misinformation, will you now commit to cancelling and not paying those bonds and making the Irish people pay for the crimes of others?
How do we do that? Geez, we need to give you... We need to... Geez, you're kind of asking us to play ducks and drakes with the regulations, and we said, yeah.
There are facts here. Laws were broken. This criminal activity happened, and those who were responsible for it haven't been brought to book.
Yeah,
How did they make it happen?
That's who make it happen.
How did they make it happen, you know?
Yeah. But we're into a different phase now, you know.
Oh, we are, yeah. And how did you arrive at the 7?
Just, as John would say, picked it out of my arse, you know. Look, what we did was we basically said, what is the amount that we can securitize over the next 6 months?
Yeah.
And basically say to them, look, our problem is time. It's not our ability to create the liquidity. It's the enemy is time here.
Yeah.
So we can rebuild. In other words, we can rebuild the liquidity off our loan book. But what we can't do is we can't do it now, and the balance sheet's leaking now.
Yeah. That's the balance sheet stabilizes. Then you buy some time.
And that number is 7. But the reality is that actually we need more than that. But the strategy here is you pull them in. You get them to write a big check, and they have to support their money, you know.
Yeah. They've got skin in the game. That's the key.
They have, and they've invested a lot. If they saw the enormity of it up front, they might decide they have a choice. You know what I mean? They might say that the cost of taxpayers is too high. But if it doesn't look too big at the outset, it looks big enough to be important, but not too big that it kind of spoils everything, then I think you have a chance. So I think it can creep up.
I don't think that the people out there are interested in Oireachtas inquiries. The critical thing, actually, that they're interested in, that those responsible would be brought to account, firstly, but more importantly, that everybody else who was paying the price for their crimes would be released from that life sentence. And you, unlike what you did in the past when you were in opposition, have an opportunity to do that now.
I think it'll happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I mean, I don't think we're an easy sell.
No.
To anybody. And the home interest should be there, except they don't have the financial standing themselves. So do I think it's going to be possible to offload it? No, I don't.
Yeah.
What will it end up being? It could be breaking it up and selling individual books. It could be nationalisation.
Yeah.
You know?
What I am asking you is, why are you asking the Irish people, forcing the Irish people to pay for the crimes of these bankers while they walk free? You have the power to cancel the bonds that are under the central bank. Let the ECB take a hit rather than special needs assistance, rather than parents, rather than mortgage holders. The choice is now with you, and harking back to the past won't cover you on this one.
I have 2 words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?